predicted here on North Carolina Yesterday Today, the NBA All-Star Game is out of Charlotte, at least for 2017, thanks to the infamous HB2. That means no Charles Barkley smoking stogies at Selwyn, no Steph Curry swishing shots from the epicenter, no Charlotte prep lax phenom turned frat star getting arrested for trying to pick a fight with Draymond Green. I'm gonna miss that one. No, for the second time in as many decades, the NBA is leaving Charlotte for New Orleans. Only at least this time we're not being stuck with the Bobcats as a parting gift. Instead, our consolation prize is joining the list of states who were stupid enough to let their antiquated view of the world stand in the way of hosting major sporting events. States like Arizona, who missed out on the chance to host a Super Bowl because they refused to recognize Martin Luther King Day. I'd like it noted for the record that U2 famously kicked off its tour in Arizona during the MLK boycott. Yeah, but they issued a statement saying they were furious about it. Or Mississippi, which still refuses to comply with an NCAA rule requiring championship host sites to, not fly a Confederate flag over the State House. North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory blames the liberal, lefty, media-driven, lib Democrats, super green lefty-lefters. But here's the deal, Pat. The All-Star Game skipped town under your watch. You couldn't get a deal done somewhere along the line. You got to take the heat. The NBA told you they were going to do it. They said they were going to do it. It's like the waiter putting the plate down and said, "Oh, this plate's hot, don't touch it." And Governor McCrory was like, "Oh, let me put my face in it. Oh, yeah, it is hot." Yes. Here's the truth. Neither Charlotte's ordinance nor HB2 really changed anything about the way anyone does their business. Mostly because even in public, going to the bathroom is pretty easy to do in private. All of this was just political posturing on both sides. And guess what? McCrory couldn't posture well enough to keep his General Assembly and the NBA happy. And that is on him. Did you see him appear at the Trump rally? And he was making jokes about bathrooms? Making bathroom bill jokes within a week of getting the All-Star Game pulled. Woo, that's bold. Also, isn't Trump against the bathroom bills? Hadn't he come out against this? McCrory says the NBA is pushing its liberal agenda on the rest of us, but I'm not sure if Governor Pat is seeing things the same way that I am around the country. So I present to you and to Pat McCrory a list of 4 people, places, and things that are more liberal than Pat McCrory on this issue. Number 1, Mike Krzyzewski, the West Point grad and long presumed Republican-leaning voter, can we call him, called HB2 an embarrassing bill last week at Team USA training camp. Duke, the other team he coaches, had a schedule change when Albany was prevented from traveling to Durham because of the law, though, stunningly, a replacement to play in Cameron Indoor Stadium was found on short notice. Number 2, the military. As we mentioned a few weeks back, the U.S. military has announced sweeping changes to how it will recognize and accommodate transgender soldiers. Number 3, the Republican National Committee, which last week had a gay speaker, PayPal executive Peter Thiel, speak for the first time at its convention. In his speech, Thiel called things like bathroom bills a distraction from the Republican platform, a point on which I totally agree with him. I thought McCrory maybe didn't show at the Republican convention because of Trump, but turns out maybe it was the gay speaker. And number 4, Georgia and South Carolina, both of whom had bathroom bills of their own pop up around the same time as North Carolina's, and both of whose Republican governors were smart enough to know which way the wind is blowing and quash them before something like an NBA All-Star Game got blown out of town. We used to look at the rest of the South and be like, okay, you're great at football, but we're way better at human rights than you guys. Now, I don't blame Governor McCrory for maybe having values that are slightly different than mine, but I do blame him for not being smart enough to recognize what this was all really about and the current climate, and then slow down or stop the bill in the first place, or at least work out enough compromise to avoid the black eye of losing the NBA All-Star Game. History won't forgive him for that. We'll see if voters will. And if the dunk contest is awesome. For North Carolina Yesterday Today, I'm Hayes Permar.